Hi, it's me again, Ricky, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about outdoor nuts and demonstrate some of their most practical uses at camp. These nuts will come in handy whether you're out hiking, camping, or fishing, or even at your very homes when you need to tie or secure something. So make sure you stay tuned after we roll that intro. Okay, I hope you like that view. The first nut I'm going to show you is the BOWLINE or BOWLINE nut. But before that, let's first identify what are the parts of our rope. This right here is your working end, and the other part you're holding on your left hand will be your standing end. To create the bowline, you'll just have to make an overhand loop, okay? Then your working end goes right through that loop. Then after that, it goes around your standing end, this line, then goes back to that very same loop that you've created. Then afterwards, to finish it off, just pull down on the standing end, and right there you have created a bowline knot. This knot is commonly used for fishing, but it's widely been used for rope rescue techniques and climbing. It's a non-constricting knot, but it's super easy to untie. Just stretch this part, then pull that thing off, then you have your rope back from where it started. The second knot I'm going to show you is the figure of 8. This knot is commonly used in climbing and SRT. It serves as a stopper knot, or to indicate that this part is the end of the line. And to make the figure of 8, just create a bight. There are lots of ways how to do this, but this is how I do my figure of 8. First, you twist, and then twist the second time, then insert your working end onto that loop. Then you have yourself a figure of 8. Also, another way to do it is to create an overhand loop, or it could be an underhand, depends on your perspective, but I like to do it this way. After you made your overhand, your working end should go around and then pass through that very same loop that you created. Then you will still get the very same result, the figure of 8. Okay, now that we are done with our second knot, which is the figure of 8 knot, we will make our third knot, which is the figure of 8 but on a bight. And to make the figure of 8 on a bight is you simply make a bight. This one right here is what you call a bight. Then you bend that bight in half, and right at that very bent part, you make a twist, then twist it around a second time, then insert that first bight that you created onto that loop. Then you have yourself a figure of 8 on a bight. The next knot we're going to talk about is a connecting knot, or the fisherman's knot. This knot is used to connect two ropes of the same diameter. From the name itself, it's used for fishing, but it also has a very good uses when camping. And to make the fisherman's knot is you simply lay out both your working end and your standing end parallel to each other. Then you hold this part first using your standing end, the tip of your standing end. You create an overhand knot just like this one, then tighten it. And on your other part, which is the left part of your parallel ropes or your working end, you create another overhand knot just like that. You can pull these things together. That's how you make the fisherman's knot. Okay, the next knot I'm going to show you is another type of connecting knots, but this time it will be for two different diameters of rope, a larger piece of rope and a smaller one. This knot is called the sheet bend, and to make our sheet bend we simply just first do a bight on our larger piece of rope. Then for our smaller diameter of rope, we just insert this through the bight that we just made, go around on the back, then take that working end and then insert it here, right where you first entered your smaller piece of rope. And after tightening that down, you will have your sheet bend. This knot is also super easy to untie. Just spread your large piece of rope like this and then take it out. You'll get your ropes back that easy. The next knot I'm going to demonstrate is the CLOVE hitch knot, or the CLOVE hitch. This knot is commonly used for anchoring ridge lines or main lines during rappelling. And to make our CLOVE hitch, if it's an open anchoring point, what I'm going to do is simply just to make two overhand loops like this, and then put the second loop, which is right next to your right hand, at the back of the first loop that you made, just like that. Then insert that on your branch or what type of anchoring point you have, and that's it. I have simply made my CLOVE hitch. Another way to make the CLOVE hitch, especially when you have a close anchoring point where there's no way to insert your rope, is simply by creating this, doing it like this. First is I'm going to make an X like that, then insert my working end right between that X going upwards. And just like that, I have already created my clove hitch. Simple as that. Again, you make an X, then we insert our working end at the center of this X. And then after tightening that down, you'll have your clove hitch. This is a tightening knot or a finishing knot after you've done your lashing or whatever projects you may have made. And to make this one more secure, you can simply just throw an overhand at the tip of your working end. That's no way that is getting undone. This knot is called the TAUT-LINE hitch. An adjustable knot where you can use on your ridge line or your guy lines from your tent or tarps. And to make our TAUT-LINE, take your working end, okay, like this, and go around your standing end, this rope on this side twice, and then one on this side, after finishing that up, you now have your TAUT-LINE. This thing is adjustable. If you want to tighten or loosen your guy lines, just do it like this. But when tension is applied, your line is not going to loose or tighten. The only problem with this knot is that it's not that easy to untie. But you can also do it like this. Again, twice on this side, then one on this side. But instead of doing a full half hitch, full hitch, you can just make a half hitch, then tighten that down. So your TAUT-LINE now becomes easy to untie. Just pull this one off, then there it goes. Another type of anchoring knot which I like to very much use on my shelters is the Siberian hitch knot. To create our Siberian hitch knot, just take your working end to your right, standing on your left, and loop it across or over your palm like this. That's one loop or one turn, then second, and right before you make your third, you stop, then you take out your palm this way on my left and take that working end all the way through your loop that you created, and make sure that when you pull it through, you will have that 8/4 in there. Otherwise it will be the wrong piece of knot. See that? That is a tightening knot or anchoring knot that's not going to get loose when weight is being applied. To make this knot more secure, I usually like to make an underhand slip on the BIGHT that we just created here. Tighten that down. That thing is much more secure now. Or you can just simply take a toggle like this piece of stick, insert it on that BIGHT, then pull this over. That's no way coming off unless you take out this toggle. The beauty of this knot is that it is super easy to undo. You just pull this part off, then bam, your rope is already loose. Another type of hitch that I'm going to show you is the cow hitch or lark's head knot. To make our cow hitch, let's use this smaller piece of branch right here. Just create a bight like this, pass that on the back, and then take both of your working end and standing end, take that and put it through your bight. Take the whole rope, you pull it through, and then you have your cow hitch. That is also a tightening knot that is super easy to make, just like that. Again, you just create a bight, then around that branch, then pull both lines all the way through. Then you have your lark's head or cow hitch. Another way of creating your cow hitch, if it is not an open branch, just do it like this. Working end over that branch, then around your standing end, okay, then again over that branch, then down where your standing end is situated. That's your cow hitch. Another view on this side. Okay, the next knot I'm going to show you is another type of hitch that is very useful around camp. It's called the MARLINE spike hitch. To make our MARLINE spike hitch, just create an overhand loop just like this one, then fold that loop backwards here towards your working end. This is my working end. Again, this is my standing end. Again, let's do that again. Create an overhand loop or underhand, doesn't really matter where. Just make sure that when you bend opposite of your working end loop, working end rope. So if I'm doing an overhand, I bend at the opposite, okay, and then take my working end line, pull it through that loop that you just created, then you have yourself a MARLINE spike hitch. Main purpose of this hitch is that in case you wanted to pull something out from this rope and you don't want to use your bare hands, or you want to have a good grip, you can actually use this MARLINE spike hitch, insert a toggle, maybe a large piece of timber, then after you pull both your lines, you have yourself a good handle to pull this piece of rope like that. Maybe you can apply this when pulling a log or whatever purpose it may serve. That right there is your MARLINE spike hitch, a very useful knot around camp. So super easy to undo also. See that? Okay, another adjustable knot that I forgot to mention earlier, same with that has the same principle with the TAUT-LINE hitch, is the FARRIMOND friction hitch knot. To create our FARRIMOND, okay, you create a bight like this, then from that bight you make 2 or 3 3 turns around your standing end. First turn, second turn, then our third turn. Okay, I hope you can see that clearly. This one. Then right after we made our third turn is we take out our working end from underneath this end, underneath both our standing end and working end. Then again make another bite, then insert that bite through the first bite that we've created, then tighten that thing down. Once that's tightened, it should look like this. That is the FARRIMOND friction hitch. Same with the TAUT-LINE again. It's an adjustable piece of nut or hitch. You can tighten this thing down or loosen it like that, and once tension is applied, that thing is not going to move. Okay, and the beauty of this nut is once you pull your working end, your nut easily undo itself just like that. Another type of nut that I'm going to show you is a PRUSIK nut. It is used to lock your tarp once you put tension in it from your ridge line. And to make our PRUSIK, it's just using this loop I just made, using a FISHERMAN'S nut we learned from the previous instructions. Then what you do with your loop is that you make loops, series of loops on your ridge line like this. First, second, I actually like to make 3 loops so it's nice and tight. Then once you dress that down, it actually looks like this. Okay, I hope you can see that clearly because the sun is almost out now. Then we add another PRUSIK. Like that. The principle of a PRUSIK is that you can move this anywhere on your ridge line, but once tension or weight is being applied, it automatically locks itself onto your ridge line. There's no way going anywhere once this thing is applied with weight. Okay, that's we are going to prop our tarp. Okay, another nut I'm going to show you that is also very useful around camp is the butterfly nut or the butterfly loop. And to make our butterfly loop, this is another way of doing it. There are actually many ways of doing it. Is you just position your left palm like this, then make at least 3 turns around your palm. That's 1, 2, 3. Then pull this middle line from under your third line or third turn that you just made. Pull that through there like this, then insert it back from the first line all the way through your third, just like that. Okay, once that bite is created or loop, Just cinch that down, dress it, then you have yourself a butterfly loop. Should look like this on the other side. Okay, the beauty of this knot is you can use this on your ridge line to hang stuff like your backpack or headlamps or whatever you may have around camp. You can hook your carabiner on it. Or this thing is also or popularly used by climbers, especially when they're anchoring on trees and they have longer pieces of main lines. You can actually just insert their working end through this loop. Okay, then rappel down, then once they've reached the ground, they can easily salvage the rope or take the rope from that same branch or same tree by pulling this other end all the way through, just like this. It's that easy. Okay, the last and final knot is a tightening knot that I usually use for my ridge lines. This knot is called the TRUCKE'R's hitch. From the name itself, it's mostly used by truckers when they tighten up their logs or timbers on their trucks. To make our TRUCKE'R's hitch, again, from our standing end, we create a MARLINE spike hitch. Same with what we did. Just create a loop like that. Doesn't matter where, this way or this way. Then you bend that loop towards your working end here. Okay, then take out or make a bight out of it. See that? That is a MARLINE spike hitch. Then afterwards, you take your working end, insert that through the bight that you just made here on your MARLINE spike hitch, then tighten that thing down just like that. Then to secure this line, you can simply just create a half hitch like this. Your line is already secured. Only problem is that once this is pulled, our TRUCKE'R's hitch loosens up. You can observe how this thing works by pulling that MARLINE's spike hitch bight that we just created. We have actually made a created tension on our ridge line. To tighten that thing down, okay, see that coming right back. Once you pull it, you can actually do 2 turns around your bight. So once you pull the thing, it locks onto itself. See? Then once that is locked in, you can again make your half hitch. Like this. And same with what we did with our previous knots. You may also use a toggle to secure that line. That thing is no way coming off. Or if you don't have any toggles, what I usually like to do is to make an underhand slip through this bight that I just made, like that. You can do twice or thrice as much as you want, but that thing is not coming off. Okay, but once you take out your underhand slip, your trucker's hitch now becomes super easy to undo, just like that. Then pull that Marline spike hitch off, then you have your rope back. That easy.